Good evening, everyone. Thank you, and welcome. I'm Tukwila Municipal Court Judge Kimberly Walden, and it's truly my honor to be here with you tonight as we come together for the City of Tukwila's State of the City Address. And before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to recognize those who help lead and serve our broader community. We are honored to have with us tonight King County Council members, city mayors, city council members from across the region, and of course our very own Tukwila City Council. I see King County Council members, I think Stephanie Fain, Rhonda Lewis, if you're here, thank you very much for being here. State Representatives Hackney and Berquist, I think I see, thank you so much, gentlemen, for being here. Senator Hasagawa, I believe, is here. Thank you. We have Renton Mayor Pavoni, Kent Mayor Ralph, Auburn Mayor Backus, former Tukwila Mayor Eckberg, and we also have to invite our current Tukwila City Council members to stand to recognize their service. Thank you very much, all of you. We're also pleased to have many of our former City Council members, if you could please stand as well. And I'm going to make sure I'm not missing anyone. Brandon, where are you? Am I missing anybody? Okay, Maple Valley Mayor, is that correct? I'm not going to forget. I live near Maple Valley. I'm not going to forget Maple Valley. What was your last name, sir? John Kelly. Thank you so much for being here as well. Okay. Thank you all for your commitment to our community and for your leadership. We would also like to acknowledge the land on which we gather. The city of Tukwila is located on the lands of the Coast Salish people. We acknowledge their continuing connections to land, waters, and culture, and we pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. Tonight is about Tukwila. It's about who we are. We are one of the most diverse communities in the nation, a place, thank you, a place where people from all over the world come not just to live, but to belong. A city where languages, cultures, traditions, and lived experiences come together to create something truly extraordinary. And in Tukwila, that diversity is not just something we celebrate, it's something we live. You see it in our neighborhoods, in our schools, in our businesses, and at every level of government. And it's something that I feel very deeply and personally. It is one of my greatest honors to serve this community for the last 24 years as Washington State's first Filipino-American judge. Thank you. Throughout that time, I've seen firsthand how Tukwila doesn't just welcome diversity, it embraces it. That commitment, this shared belief that everyone belongs here, is what helps define us. And that spirit couldn't be more timely than it is right now. As we look ahead to this summer, the world will be coming to our region for the FIFA World Cup. And while others will speak about that tonight, what I know is this: Tukwila is ready. Because we are already a global community. We already understand what it means to bring people together from every walk of life. That is who we are every day, not just on the world stage, but right here at home. And as a part of tonight's program, we will also recognize a powerful reflection of that inclusivity. Many may not realize, but there is an official Spanish language version of our national anthem, El Pendón Estrado. It was commissioned in 1945 by President Franklin D. Roosevelt as a part of the official Good Neighbor policy with the goal of strengthening relationships across the Americas and making the anthem accessible to Spanish-speaking communities. That history reminds us that our nation's story has always been about one of many voices, many languages coming together under shared values. And here in Tukwila, that idea is not just abstract, it is real, it is visible, it is lived. So please join me in welcoming our vocalists who will perform our national anthem, Cherry and Trisha of Diva Fiva, love the name. They are a female-led tribute to iconic divas of the past, yesterday and today, empowering femininity through music. And at this time, we invite everyone who is able and willing to stand for their performance. Ladies.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight last gleaming? Jesus bright as the estrellas en el rudo luchar sobre el recio baluarte gallardo ondulaba en la bomba lanzada su his explosión gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. El pendón estrellado tremula feliz. Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Once again, thank you for being here this evening. Now it is my honor to welcome Tukwila Mayor Tom McLeod.
Good evening. I'd kind of like to hear the anthem again. Welcome to tonight's State of the City event. Tukwila is proud to be hosting our second annual and to share with you some of the great things going on in Tukwila and the even greater things that our staff is doing. Before I begin, I'd like to give a couple thank yous. One to the city staff at Tukwila for making tonight happen. A lot of hours, a lot of hands have made this possible. To the community partners for serving at our community tables, and to family, friends, and to you, Grace, for all your support. Thank you. So tonight, I want to begin by talking about, at my first month as mayor, I put together a transition team of residents and business owners. And I asked what they would like to see in my term as mayor. One request they gave me was more representation on regional boards and commissions. Currently with my staff, I'm serving on the following boards: Valley Communications, SCORE Jail, Puget Sound Regional Council, Cascade Water and Sound Cities Association. I do feel that we are at regional tables, but at the end of 2025, I was asked to be on the Sound Transit Board, and I accepted just in time for the historic ride across Lake Washington from Seattle to Bellevue. Also just in time to be facing the capital shortfall of $34 billion to build out voter-approved transportation. Sound Transit has some big decisions that must be made on the capital projects to fund. So I'm advocating, and I want to invite you to advocate with me. A couple projects out of the South King County, we're asking for an increase in Sounder commuter trains through Tukwila, Kent, and Auburn. And we're also advocating for a light rail station to be at the Boeing Access Road near Allentown. This has been promised and voted on twice. So there is a table out the door to the left if you want to sign up and lend your voice with us, but let's be heard that Tukwila deserves a light rail station. In June 2025, we hired a new Public Works Director, Jen Tet-Totson, a retired U.S. Naval officer of 22 years and formerly the Planning and Public Works Director of Pierce County. Early in her role, Director Tet-Totson held an all-hands team meeting with her Public Works staff, sharing her leadership philosophy and expectations. Regarding stewardship, she reminded them that they are entrusted with public funds and how they must strive to meet community needs. That on professionalism, they need to demonstrate the standards that they expect from others, and to understand when perfect is required and when immediate is more valuable to the community. I will say we are alike in our thinking on this. We have a very talented staff in Public Works, and in 2025, they accomplished quite a bit. They rebooted our neighborhood traffic calming program, assessing over 100 requests to improve safety on our neighborhood roads. They completed the first fleet utilization study in more than a decade to examine how the city can reduce its cost of vehicles. And they found two major cost savings: transitioning from expensive lease contracts to vehicle ownership, and right-sizing the fleet of vehicles to better match operational needs. They adopted our local road safety plan, which has a goal of preventing fatal and serious injury crashes on our roads, and they completed a comprehensive traffic signal assessment. This is something we don't miss until they're not working. 65 signaled intersections, 75 flashers and rapid flash beacons, 364 pedestrian push buttons. So not only did they assess them, they created a maintenance program for these critical assets to keep serving you and public safety. They also completed the Allentown Truck Reroute Environmental Impact Study. Those of you from the Allentown neighborhood understand the value of this. Our Public Works team, they're leaders in environmental stewardship. The Nelson Side Channel Project, they completed the purchase of shoreline property, enabling flood storage, salmon recovery, and public river access. And on the Chinook Wind Project, they installed a public trail around the Chinook Wind mitigation site. In 2025, our Public Works staff completed and were successful in winning $13.8 million in grants. These awards are funds being used to leverage key projects like the Gilliam Creek Enhancement, the East Marginal Asphalt Overlay, and the Green River Front Master Plan. If that wasn't enough, in March of this year, Director Tet-Totson organized a staff field day, a team exercise, if you will, not at the big game show, not at the escape room, not at the Activate game. No, this team exercise, they picked up over 500 bags of trash, appliances, tires, and vehicle parts. According to Director Tet-Totson, litter and garbage are part of everyone's job. And so they're preparing a roadside litter fact sheet in multiple languages to help keep our streets clean. They also just finalized a contract for 15 freeway on and off ramps to be cleaned 3 times before this coming July. And they are restoring Tukwila Adopt a Road program. I want to say thank you to Director Tet-Totson and our Public Works staff for working so hard in 2025. They are making a difference. Now, if you want to report something that you see, we have an app. It's called Tukwila Works, and you can use your smartphone to communicate with various departments. An example, you might see an encampment, litter, potholes, broken pipes, fallen trees. Report it to Tukwila Works, and we will see that the proper department takes care of the issue. In 2025, we had 1,271 requests that we responded to. Looking forward, a couple capital projects we're still completing design work and permitting for: our Public Works Shop Phase 2 project down in the Allentown Duwamish neighborhood, and the 42nd Avenue Bridge. We believe we can start construction in late '27 and complete it at the end of 2029. So let's talk about a little incident that happened this past December. The 100-year flood finally came. On December 8 of 2025, a series of atmospheric rivers drenched western Washington. This was the 100-year flood event that we've been preparing for. Multiple locations along the levee system were damaged from the high water volume and required emergency repair. There were 3 levee locations in South Tukwila and a sinkhole on the Desmoni levee. And while we were watching these 3 locations, a 4th area on the levee breached and triggered a flash flood warning and an evacuation notification for the South Center District. The floodwaters led to a road and trail closure, business closure, damage to the levee system, structural damage, and to the pedestrian bridge, and much more. It was even more so for our neighbors in Renton, Kent, and Auburn. The city had over 2,000 hours dedicated to the response in less than a month. Tukwila was fortunate in that the levee breached on the east bank of the river, not the north bend of the river or toward the holiday crowds at South Center Mall. Our staff was fast acting and prepared, and because of their leadership and expertise, we were able to keep the community safe. But I want to give mention to our Public Works team, to our Parks and Recreation staff, to our emergency management. In November, they did their pre-assessments on the levee, and they found weak spots, which were temporarily patched. They were prepared for sheltering and managing flood conditions on roads and trails. And they partnered with our federal congressional delegation, Governor Ferguson, the state legislators, King County electeds, and other local officials from South King County. And our emergency management was quick to stand up our Emergency Operations Center. They monitored flood information 24/7, collaborating with King County Emergency Services, National Weather Services, and several neighboring cities. Post-flood, we continue working with King County Flood Control District and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. There's a lot of work to still do on the levee and to repair the weakness that it experienced. But I want to say thank you to our Public Works, to our Parks and Rec, and to our emergency management for all their work they did during the flood. A couple headlines that come out of the mayor's office. Our Human Services Department is a staff of 2 people, and they responded last year to 3,253 calls for service. 84 households, they found $90,000 for rent utility assistance, and grant funding from the state of Washington and King County supported asylum seekers in 2025, totaling just over 9,000 room nights. They work with great compassion and empathy to serve our community. From our clerk's office, they recodified the Tukwila Municipal Code and converted it to a user-friendly, online, searchable platform, allowing for translation capabilities in over 100 languages. So you can search by subject in 100 languages, noise ordinances, parking issues. What are the requirements to have chickens if you want to have chickens? Or maybe you want to know, what do I do if my neighbor has chickens? But in 100 languages, you can see what the code says about that and get information. Our Leadership Initiative class. In 2025, the city completed its 3rd annual Leadership Initiative. A diverse group of community members completed our 7-week civics program, and they received insight into how local government works. One of the participants finished the course and said, "It always felt distant and intimidating, but this program changed that. It broke everything down, made the process feel approachable, and opened a door I didn't even realize was there. Now I see that getting involved isn't just possible, it's surprisingly accessible." That is exactly the goal of our civics course, and Joe Anderson is teaching the community how to use their voice. Our Tukwila courts are award-winning. You met the judge earlier. They do an amazing work there. In 2025, they expanded support services for court participants. Now think about this. They partnered with Better Life Community Development to connect justice-involved community members with critical resources. So if you've gone through the court system and you're now coming out and ready to begin your life again, they have partnered to provide temporary housing, employment opportunities, resume assistance, education support, and mentorship. I have often said about our court, the hand that disciplines is also the hand that loves. And I appreciate that. They also, on technology front, they provided a new online court portal, making it easier for residents to engage with the court, and they modernized their website to make it easier to find forms and service information. They expanded their domestic violence intervention programming. A fifth team member became a certified DVMRT instructor, allowing the court to add a second class for Spanish-speaking clients. And they continue to support our public safety efforts. We put in a new speed camera down at Codaga Park, photo enforcement there at the bottom of the 129 bridge. Allentown's clapping for it. How many, by a show of hands? No, you don't have to do that. The speed cameras, since their inception, have issued 5,701 tickets in just a few months. Slow it down, people. I want to talk a little bit about our police department. I think we have an amazing police department. And a couple of updates from last year. We were seeking to hire a park ranger, and we ran into some complications with that. So it didn't get hired yet, but I believe it will be hired this spring, so you'll see a park ranger out in the parks. But we were also trying to hire a mall detective, and Detective Robert Mosley is that person, a former Tukwila explorer. Detective Mosley is already down at South Center Mall, building relationships with the stores, with the patrons of the mall. We are trying to make the mall the safest it can be for anyone that wants to go there. I don't know if you know this, but the increase in visitors at Westfield South Center Mall is amazing. 16.6 million people visit the mall annually. Compare that to the Outlet Collection at Auburn, 11.7, Bell Square at 11.1, and Alderwood Mall at 10.8, to give you some perspective. We think it's important to make that experience as safe as possible, so thank you to Detective Mosley for helping make that happen. The Tukwila Police is now fully staffed with commission officers, which allows them to restore specialty units to serve the community. The school resource officer has been reinstituted, and more folk. Yeah. And more focus on traffic, speeding, and safety responses. I want to show you the crime stats for 2025. At the end of, you see them there for 23, 24, and 25. Aggravated assault, robbery, commercial burglary, residential burglary, auto theft, and theft from vehicle. Because we have a fully staffed police department, all of them are down from 23 and 24. But one went up. Because we are fully staffed, driving under the influence. In 23, 22 cases, 33 cases, in 25, 59 cases, and in 2026, so far, over 37 cases. People, please, no drinking and driving. But if you do, we're going to catch you. House Bill 2015 was passed by the state legislators earlier this year. This adds a 0.01% to the sales tax, and it's a tool that could generate over $2 million for the city of Tukwila for public safety. If you, as of April 1st, if you spend $100 somewhere, you're going to have a 10-cent additional tax, and if you spend $1,000, it'll be $10. But these are funds that we can use for public safety, hiring and training officers. It's not enough to just recruit, we've got to retain. Community-based criminal justice programs, public defenders, domestic violence services, diversion programs, and community outreach, co-responders, mental health professional programs. All of these programs make our city safer and better, and this will be a way that we can fund it going forward. We will also allow us to free up other general funds for programming and service. I want to take a moment and speak to technology, the automated license plate readers, or the flock cameras. The legislators passed Senate Bill 6002 in March of 2026, allowing cities and law enforcement agencies to use these ALPR cameras. We have 28 in Tukwila, and we have been using them to solve a fatality hit-and-run collision with a pedestrian, to recover over 300 stolen vehicles, armed robbery of a shopper who fled in a stolen vehicle, and assist other agencies with homicide investigations. They've been really valuable for the police work here in Tukwila. I want to emphasize we do not use them for surveillance or share the data with the federal government. Now, there's a discussion going on with the City Council right now about how we should use the data that our flock cameras collect. If you'd like to weigh in on it, in your City in Brief document, there's a website or an email that you can address the City Council and be part of the discussion that's ongoing now. Our police officers are very committed to the community. Their engagement has been for years very real and personal. We offer a community police academy, a community meeting with seniors. They meet with the Tukwila School Board regularly on immigration and enforcement. There's the program Shop with a Cop, Coffee with a Cop, and Night Out Against Crime. They are deep into our community, building relationships and working with people to ensure public safety. One of the ones that has been doing that for 32 years is our Chief of Police, Eric Drever. Eric, would you? Chief Drever, would you start to make your way down with your wife, Kathy? Tomorrow is Chief Drever's last day on the force. After 32 years of serving our community, he will be retiring at the end of April. And we're going to miss him greatly, but I wanted to give him a chance to just say a couple words, only 2 minutes, Eric, to you, the community. And I also want to thank his wife, Kathy, because when he served, she served.
What's up, Tukwila? I love this community. I have spent 32 years serving from an officer all the way up to the distinct honor that I've had for the last 5 years as your Chief of Police. And I mean it when I say we serve. We're here for you. We consider ourselves a part of the community. We consider ourselves here for your public safety. And over the last 5 years, we have worked hard as we have hired law enforcement officers and staff for the department to continue serving this community. And what's important with that, the mayor mentioned we're fully staffed. What that means for you is a return of services for public safety, more community engagement, and more visibility of officers on the street. But what has allowed us as a department here in 25 and into 2026 to be fully staffed while other departments in the region have not been able to do that yet is we are not just hiring anybody. We make sure that we are hiring people that share your values, that are there for you, that care about you. And I am proud, and you should be proud, of everyone that works for the police department because they are there caring every single day about how they are providing that service to you. So one of the things that I do with every employee that joins our police department on their very first day, or as close to it as we can manage with our busy schedules, I meet with them and we have a welcome wagon meeting. We express that they're joining a law enforcement family and a community family of Tukwila. But I give them expectations. I don't tell them I want you to do ABC 1, 2, 3. What I tell them is I expect you to live under the philosophy that you will provide the same level of service to this community that you would expect from your own family. And they step up and serve that to you. I am so proud of them. I've been very proud to be your chief for the last 5.5 years, and I'm excited because we've put together a team from officers all the way up to the chief's position that work together for you. There will be no loss in continuity as I go into retirement because you still have a team that cares greatly for you and is serving you to the best of their ability. I'm excited for the future of law enforcement in Tukwila because they are a part of the community and they are there for you, and I'm excited to see you all grow together. So I will not be a stranger. I will be around. Thank you for the honor of letting me serve the last 32 years.
Thank you, Kathy. I would like to now invite to the stage our City Administrator, Marty Wine. I don't know if you heard, there's a little soccer party going on this summer, and we'd like to take a moment and just talk about it. I bring you one of FIFA's biggest fans.
Good evening, everybody, neighbors, friends, fellow soccer fans. I would like to introduce to you Hazel and Filbert. These are our public service announcers who are going to be representing the city as we get ready for the World Cup. So I'm here with a public service announcement about the World Cup, and you'll be seeing them this summer as our World Cup events kick off. It's an honor to be here tonight with you in Tukwila. This is a community that represents the best of our region with diversity and also opportunities. So I'm going to spend a few minutes, just a few, talking about what it means for our community to be part of something truly global, which is the arrival of the FIFA World Cup 2026 matches right here in our region. And I'm going to talk about why the World Cup is something to be excited about. So in 42 days, on June 11th, the world's biggest sporting event will open. There are 3 host countries, there are expanded 48 teams, there are 100 matches across 16 cities in US and Canada and Mexico. Every 4 years, the World Cup brings us together to witness a global football battle. Now, on paper, the matches were going to be played right up the road in Seattle Stadium. But the impact goes beyond the stadium and reaches communities like Tukwila in very real and tangible ways. So that's why this World Cup moment matters. The World Cup is coming to our doorstep, and it's going to spark energy and fun, and Tukwila will make this a celebration for everyone. I'm a big soccer fan. Some of you know that in 2019 I traveled to France for the Women's World Cup, and I watched the US women's national team win it all. It was an amazing experience, and to cheer on my national team and be part of a global event was just an amazing opportunity. And so I'm here to share with you some of the excitement that I had at that time and why FIFA and the World Cup are exciting for us here in Tukwila and our part in it to make it something that we will remember forever. So for the next few minutes, after the next few minutes, I'm hoping that you'll be as excited about this global event as I am. So here's reason 1 to be excited. One is that we're ready. We're ready to be great hosts. You can think of this as the world coming to Tukwila. What Tukwila is doing to prepare for the World Cup is to showcase our great city and also welcome visitors from all over the world. If you're from here, you'll be able to rediscover some of the fun we have to offer right here in our own neighborhoods. When Seattle hosts the 6 matches in June, Tukwila will be the gateway. We have hotels, we have shopping, the airport, transit, transportation, and we have visitors and teams who are going to be coming and going. Just as many of our residents started their arrival journey here in Tukwila, visitors from across the globe are going to be passing through here, staying here, and experiencing what Tukwila has to offer. That's an opportunity for economic activity for our small businesses. Visitors don't just stay in one place, they also eat and shop and explore, and they spend in our community. One way we're getting ready is supporting our small businesses to prepare and promote what they do during events in June and July. We're going to have watch parties, inviting locals to World Cup visitors, and World Cup visitors to be part of match day excitement. Tukwula's business events, promotions, and deals will be showing up on tukwila26.com. Plus, we are investing our lodging tax dollars to promote tukwila26.com to draw people from South King and North Pierce counties and locally. It's going to be a great opportunity for our small businesses to reach new customers. As the mayor said earlier, the next thing we're doing to get ready is when someone's coming over to your place, you need to clean things up and get the house ready for guests. So we've been busy cleaning up our city's streets, our sidewalks, trails, parks, our freeway ramps, our public spaces, and being sure that we can provide public safety. Everyone who comes to Tukwila will see how safe and clean and how beautiful Tukwila is. Big events come with real challenges, including traffic and testing our infrastructure, our public safety coordination, and we've been engaging with local businesses early and helping people get around by hiring ambassadors and creating clean and safe and inviting places for our community events. So World Cup exposure will have lasting value for us. Long after the final match is played, people will remember the region, and they'll remember the communities that made them feel welcome. So we're ready in Tukwila, and we're cleaning up the city, making welcoming spaces, ready to host visitors, ready for fans to celebrate. Here's the second reason to be excited about the World Cup. Fun events. We have some serious fun planned. There are going to be a few ways that the world will unite here in Tukwila to celebrate the world's game with community events. The city is inviting everyone to join in the fun. We're going to have soccer tournaments, watch parties, and a block party. Parks and Rec is hosting activities leading up to the World Cup, starting with the youth tournament this weekend, the Tuck Cup, and that's for Tukwila elementary schools, free right here at Foster High School this weekend. We'll also be hosting FIFA esports tournaments on May 13th and an adult tournament on June 6th at Tukwila Community Center. You'll be able to watch World Cup matches at Tukwila United watch parties on 7 dates, starting June 11th at Sullivan Center at Tukwila Village, and a final match on July 19th at Tukwila Community Center. Come to watch a match, and you can also stay for music and art and fun. There will also be a Tukwila United viewing lounge at the Westfield Shopping Center, Westfield South Center Mall throughout the tournament. And we're going to be having a Tukwila United block party, and that'll be on Baker Boulevard in South Center District also on June 13th. More fun, more music, more art. So please come be part of these community events over the summer. Here's the final reason to be excited for the World Cup. It's the soccer. Tukwila is a soccer city. We have deep connections to the game. The World Cup is one of the most watched events on the planet. There are going to be billions of people who tune in for the soccer. 6 of the matches are here in Seattle. 500,000 fans are expected to visit or tune in. And even though it happens every 4 years, it's still a once-in-a-lifetime sporting event. Soccer is a global game. It naturally appeals because you don't need anything but a ball and some open space to pick up a game. And we love soccer. We call it the beautiful game because there's going to be edge-of-your-seat drama, clutch goals, fierce battles, top teams, underdogs advancing through the rounds and making it to the final contests, and national teams that are making powerful statements. The Players' World Cup dreams will take shape, and there will be a buzz and excitement as part of every match as the tournament unfolds. So the reason to be excited about that in Tukwila is that Tukwila helped to grow the local soccer culture too. This week in the Seattle Times, the Pacific Northwest magazine ran an article by Grace Madigan about the unique soccer culture in our region and what we've cultivated here. Her outline outlines the homegrown talent to include Jordan Morris, who's a Seattle Sounder. He stayed to play here, and he emphasized how connected the soccer community is here. For Jordan Morris, Starfire Sports Complex in Tukwila played a big part in building those soccer connections. Morris remembered playing for state championships at Starfire Sports Complex with his youth club, Eastside FC. It was a big deal, he said, because you were playing on that field, and as a kid, that stadium felt massive, he said. It wasn't long before he returned to Starfire. He played for his academy team, and Starfire was the Sounders headquarters till just a couple of years ago. So this summer, there will be a World Cup game at Lumen Field that might also feature a local. Seattle Sounders midfielder Christian Roldan is a contender for a roster spot on the U.S. men's national team. He was raised in LA, but he played soccer at University of Washington, and he was lured by the reputation to this soccer city and the Sounders' commitment to homegrown players. Here's a little bit more about how Tukwila and Starfire built the region's soccer culture.
Soccer is the world's language, and we are perfectly positioned to take in people from all different countries and participate in the world's game here. So back in 2003, when we first got started, we entered into this great private-public partnership with the city of Tukwila, and we entered into a 40-year concession agreement where the city of Tukwila was kind enough to let us build this great complex that we have today. And last year we had over 1.2 million visitors to Starfire, and over 70,000 kids participated in sports. So it's been wildly successful.
It's like a 2-hour drive here, and I come here around 2 times a month to play with EPD, Elite Player Development. Although it's a little more intimidating playing with a lot better players, it grows me not just as a player, but as a person too, just being surrounded by like really good players and really good coaches.
It's really special when you can see, little kids start training here at, 6, 7, 8 years old, and then you read about them playing at some of our local universities. And it's just that, they got their start here at Starfire, which is special, to home grow a player like that and see him or her progress into these, upper ranks.
Like, that's one thing I think is really unique about Starfire is that it does create a championship atmosphere. Every time I played at Starfire, I knew I was playing in a big game, in an incredible atmosphere. Even at a young age, it was a great experience into what, playing at a higher level could look like.
One of the most unique things was to watch Christian Roldan, who started his, collegiate career at UW, and then ended up training out here with the Sounders when they used this as their training facility, and now is playing for the U.S. men's national team.
So I think it just shows that you can make it and you can be playing in the World Cup, which is on the biggest international stage.
It's so crazy to think about that, players in the World Cup grew up and played in Washington, the place that I'm playing now, and knowing that I could be there someday if I worked hard enough.
We have set up Starfire to be a special place where you can get 54 acres of fields in one spot, and there aren't many places that can do that throughout the country. Tukwila is one of the most diverse communities in the state, and we have set up Starfire to be a safe and welcoming place for everyone.
So Tukwila's deep soccer connections, including Starfire Sports Complex, is part of our soccer region. We've got homegrown players who are playing soccer at an elite level who started in Tukwila and at Starfire. The last reason we can be excited about the World Cup is that soccer grows here. And our leagues and playing at Starfire produce players and coaches and volunteers and teams that make up our region's soccer culture. So to close, hopefully after these couple of minutes, you'll see a reason to be looking forward to the World Cup coming here and this celebration of the global game too. This World Cup is our invitation to come together, cheer loudly, share generously, work intentionally so everyone can belong. Tukwila can celebrate the World Cup because we're getting ready, because we've planned fun events to gather, and because soccer has grown here. What will last longer than the World Cup is what we've built around it. These fun events, these opportunities to connect, and the amazing soccer stories that we grew. So, the community in Tukwila already reflects the world, and now the world is coming here. Thank you, and let's get ready to play and celebrate. And welcome the world.
It's going to be a good time in the city in June and July. All right, I want to do part 2 of my presentation this evening, and I'm going to begin with a community acknowledgement. Every year, the Puget Sound Business Journal puts together a 40 under 40 list. It identifies 40 exceptional leaders under the age of 40. In 2026, Tukwila made the list again. Amy Kiyota, the CEO of Impact Public School, up across the street from Church by the Side of the Road, Amy is growing Impact Public Schools into a network of thriving charter schools, serving Tukwila and other cities. She oversees 4 high-performing elementary schools and is looking to add a middle school. She is the daughter of immigrant parents raised in Baltimore, Maryland, and she brings to Tukwila a master's in economics and education from Columbia University Teachers College. Tonight, Amy joins us, and I would like her to stand and to be recognized. Congratulations, Amy, and thank you for bringing your talents to Tukwila. That's what success looks like. I'd also like to give you an update on the Tukwila Promise. In the 2025-26 budget, the city founded our first ever Tukwila Promise in partnership with Washington State Opportunity Scholarship, allowing Foster High School graduates to attend Highline College for free. Foster High students enrolled at Highline College now, through the Promise, has increased 300%. You can see on the screen that in 2024, without the Promise, there were 16 students enrolled at Highline College. And now through the Promise, the 25 graduating class has 53 students enrolled at Highline College. Thank you to the Tukwila School District, the Foster High staff, Highline College, our City Council, State Representative Steve Berquist, and the Washington State Opportunity Scholarship, because you have made a difference. Going forward, we are looking to expand the Promise to include Renton Technical College and the Seattle colleges, South, Central, and North. Another update is the People's Project. Tukwila's first ever participatory budget initiative, we put decision-making power directly in the hands of the community. The city committed up to $100,000 to fund at least one small-scale, high-impact project that enhances public space and quality of life. We had a steering committee of 6 residents from diverse backgrounds to guide the process. I want to give a special thanks to Arizona Proctor, Ardo Hersey, Debbie Gordon, Sarah Arevalo Rivas, Mayo Hahn, and Steve Miller for your dedicated work on this project. They collected 139 community surveys with ideas. Over several months, the steering committee reviewed, refined, and prioritized your submissions. Tonight, I am unveiling the top 5 ideas that made it to the ballot for you to vote on. The Green River Wellness Trail, the free community outdoor fitness area, community chill and play zone, the Bicentennial Park refresh and trail access improvement, and the portrait wall, celebrating Tukwila's heroes. Your City in Brief book that you have has a QR code. You can see these with more detail and description. But the next phase of the People's Project is a community-wide vote. To vote, go to the QR code that's in your City in Brief book or to the city's website. You will be given Tuck Bucks, and you will use them to vote on your favorite ideas. Voting begins tonight and runs through May 31st. And the city plans to complete the project before the end of the year. So, what do you want us to build? You tell us and we'll have it done. The People's Project is an important project because it strengthens Tukwila's commitment to community empowerment and shared decision-making, to equity in public investment, and inclusion and transparency in civic engagement. So thank you to the staff that put together our People's Project. Okay, let's take a moment and talk finances and budget. You look comfortable. You might only need the edge of your seat for this discussion. Feel free to adjust. When we finished our last budget, the 25-26 budget, we knew then that we were facing a shortfall in the next budget, the 27-28 budget, of maybe upwards of $6 million. Expenses are rising faster than revenues. So in 2024, the city assembled a group of community members asking their input on future financial sustainability. And after months of meeting, the committee gave recommendations to the city. They asked that we be good stewards of public resources and to improve our efficiency and effectiveness, to invest in the community's highest priorities while managing the tax burden on the community, and to invest in Tuckwilla's future to achieve long-term cost savings. So we took that to heart, and we started to work with it as we finished the last budget in preparation for this next. At my direction, we used 2025 to do an internal organizational audit. I asked the staff to find additional revenues. So they felt that there was some room to improve our business taxes beginning in 2027. More on that in a minute. And to implement House Bill 2015 that the legislators just passed, the 0.01% increase to the sales tax. I asked the staff, I said, we're not increasing taxes on the general populace, property tax owners and such, without being willing to make cuts ourselves. So we reviewed our cost of program and services, and we had a lot of ideas on the table. Should we sell the golf course? Should we contract policing or courts with King County? And you heard earlier, changing vehicles from leasing to owning. We were very thorough in all the ideas we could come with and how they would create a smaller footprint. Our goal to build a budget without any one-time funding. The last 5 budgets have always had some source of one-time funding, the sale of property, COVID dollars that help balance the budget. So this summer, further programming will be under review and consideration as we build the budget this summer, but I want you to look for budget surveys that are coming out this spring, town halls that we will have. We want to hear your budget or your opinion as we build this next budget. That'll be important to us. But go back with me to the Financial Sustainability Committee. I want to look at the process we're using through the lens that they gave us. They said be good stewards, to be efficient and effective. Well, one idea we had was spend less. Expenditures for 2025 were lower, allowing us to set aside $2 million into future capital project account, roof repairs, equipment repairs. And in 2025, we began using a new budget system called OpenGov. This is a tool where you can look at our budget, our revenues, and our spending in real time. Later this year, when it's fully installed, you will see the city financials by department in real time. I'm a big believer that transparency leads to accountability. We also were asked to manage the tax burden on the community. We're looking at a reduction in the business license fee, that's the head tax, and adjusting the B&O rates, trying to level set our business tax structure to be more in line with our neighboring cities. If you've been paying both taxes, we are designing these changes to be revenue neutral in the 27-28 budget. I've also instructed the finance team to bring to council a refinancing of our public safety bonding, which will, under current rates, save the city roughly $1.6 million over 10 years. I'm going to come back to that number in just one second. And then also to achieve long-term cost savings. We've updated our investment and debt policies, but what I'm excited about is we contracted with Clearwater Investment Advisors to increase return on investments against market volatility, provide liquidity and manage risk, and to generate returns beyond previous investment processes. So do some math with me. In 2023, you can see our investment earnings in 24, and when we started to implement some changes in 2025, look at what we got in investment income. If you take that 1.4 million and minus where we started at the $1,077,000, we have already increased earnings by $350,000, and if you add the debt refinancing on the bonding at $160,000 a year, that budget gap is already $514,000 less. I'm a big believer in first doing things that we can do to the budget before we ask the outside community to help us. From our economic development team, Health Point broke ground in 2025. This is a medical, dental, behavioral health, and child care facility up on Tukwila International Boulevard and 146th. They are expected to open in the fall of '26. This is a tremendous asset for our community, and we are excited for the ribbon cutting that will be coming our way. So let's talk about housing a little bit. The multifamily tax exemption is a tool that developers use to build housing. The state allows cities to exempt new multifamily residential development from most property taxes for 8 to 12 years. Developers have used that tool to build the following projects, and they're all down by Lowe's Hardware: Airmark Apartments, Mariblu, Merrill Gardens, Pros. This program covers the South Center District and Tukwila South, and the application period is scheduled to end. I'm going to be going to council this year, asking them to extend the application period and expand the eligible areas. We need more housing, and so the city, we need to invest, and this is one way we can do it, to do our part to make more areas available to incentivize developers to build. To our small business community, public safety is foundational to economic development. Whether you're the mall, a big box store, a small restaurant, if you're even a taxi driver working in our city, your public safety matters to us. And as a city, we invest in our small business community. There's going to be a lot of World Cup activity. We are hosting multiple events, drawing people to Tukwila, and we're trying to have them go by our business community, our small businesses. As I said, the taxi drivers. There's a viewing party, a world dance party, and recreational soccer. As Marty mentioned, Tukwila 26, you can not only post your event, you can see the events that are happening. And so if your small business can benefit from that traffic of people, take a look at the events and make the most of it for your small business. On the subject of housing, Church by the Side of the Road opened up Tukwila's third tiny home village. 40 tiny homes at CBSR. It is the first tiny home village in King County to welcome families. A special thank you to Reverend Terrence and Arizona Proctor, the CBSR family, and to Lehigh, who will manage the site. Of our 3 tiny home villages, we have about 100 tiny homes. It's an effort in transitional housing to get people off the streets and into stable housing. Speaking of housing, though, the King County Growth Management Planning Council has a requirement for the city to build 6,500 new homes between the years 2019 and 2044. Well, in the last 12 years, we built 356 housing units and 1,800 apartments. That's not a pace that's going to meet the King County goal by 2044. So what is it that we're doing? In 2025, the Department of Community Development took a look at their permit processing. Internal workflows, intake requirements, and review practices, and align them to reduce unnecessary resubmittals and delays on permits. To the developers in the room, let me repeat that: to reduce unnecessary resubmittals and delays. I know you'll appreciate that. Our fast-tracking permitting options have been expanded to better support small business, home-related work, and time-sensitive projects. And they also have a new permitting system. They've initiated SmartGov, a new permitting and licensing platform designed to improve transparency, efficiency, and scalability. In addition to that, we've updated our zoning codes. Up on Tukwila International Boulevard, we now have approval for 85 height of building and new parking requirements. Where does this come in handy? Sterling Realty Organization has a vision for housing. It's up on 160th and TIB. It could be housing and a retail campus, maybe 4,000 housing units with ground floor retail, or 1,000 housing units, a hotel of 1,000 and ground floor retail. You see that bridge over the 518 freeway? It goes to the light rail station. That is a Sound Transit capital project. It has already been approved, and getting that built would go a great way towards getting this project going. If only I knew somebody on the Sound Transit Board that could ask about the bridge. Another project is Sagali Properties. In November 2025, the City Council approved the new development agreement. It's called the Prado District. It's an area south of 180th. The agreement guarantees the city won't change zoning or other codes for the next 15 years. It enables development up to 10 million square feet during those 15 years, a potential corporate campus, and potential housing up to 2,000 units. This picture on your right is the road going up to Military Road. It's just south of the claim jumper and the fire station, and at the top of the road you would go right and go to the Safeway. That could be 1,000 housing units. And so our development is the city's part to help make that happen. We're hoping market forces will work with us to open up these housing opportunities. I'd like to talk about Parks and Rec. Our Green Tukwila initiative mobilized 2,903 volunteer hours in local parks through ecological restoration as part of our environmental stewardship. Those 2,903 hours would equate to a $97,000 savings to the city. Thank you to the volunteers for the work they do. And I want to highlight the fact at the bottom of that page, I don't know how well you can see it, invasive plant removal in parks. They did enough to fill 6.9 football fields. That is an amazing stat, making the parks cleaner and safer for all of you to enjoy this summer. We also have in Tukwila a tree canopy, and we are planning our 6th year of our tree giveaway. To date, the city has distributed nearly 1,000 trees to property owners. We are trying to achieve a 29% canopy coverage by 2034. Currently, we're at 24%. But we're sending the message that if you come into our city, plant a tree. Foster Golf Course this year, or in 2025, celebrated 100 years old with over 60,000 rounds of golf. Sad news that came from the golf course was Billy Baroo's closed in December 2025. Good news? We have a new concessionaire, Pacifica Grill and Bar, which opened in March of 2026. It's an island-themed restaurant, and if you ask the city council members, they will tell you the food is great. Our farmers market launched in the summer of 25 with 5 events. In addition to farm fresh products, the market featured food trucks, artisans, live music, and art making. The farmers market will again be up and running this summer, July and August, down at the Tukwila Community Center. Our talented staff in Parks and Rec have been successful in winning $7.2 million in numerous grants, $1.3 million to support the ongoing repairs of the heating and air conditioning at the community center, which we use as an emergency heating and cooling center, and $5.8 for park and trail improvements. The Tukwila Community Center is going to be getting a makeover, turf fields, a river walk, and canoe launches into the river. I want to give a special thank you to former King County Council member Deshaun Quinn. I think he's somewhere in the room here. He helped to make that possible, and I thank him for his commitment to Tukwila. The Seawolves renewed their lease to use the Tukwila Community Center as their rugby training facility for another year. And maybe you were one of the 2,000 guests that came to the Halloween Carnival. It was a huge success and an evening filled with spooky fun. Thanks to our partners, the Tukwila Library Advisory Board, the Arts Commission, and the Puget Sound Regional Fire Authority for making that night possible. At our Parks and Rec, youth sports are getting a program reboot. We got a $100,000 King County grant, and we partnered with the Tukwila School District to revive elementary intramural sports with a strong focus on social and emotional learning. Congratulations, Parks, and sharing that with the school district is a wonderful use. They've also put out a new map guide. You can get one of these special maps out at their table, and it shows all the parks and open spaces in Tukwila and all the programming going on with QR codes. So I invite you to stop by their table tonight before you leave. And they've also launched a new web-based Parks Fun Finder, a new way to search online for your favorite park activities and booking a tee time at Foster Golf. I now want to talk about some specific parks before we close tonight. The Parks and Recreation Open Space, the PROS plan. Every 6 years, the PROS plan identifies the goals and service levels and the priorities for the future of Tukwila Parks and the recreation system. The 116th Street Park in Duwamish is getting the site development improvements that are currently underway. That's the far picture. Riverton Park will be replacing playground equipment, and Joseph Foster Park will be renovating the lower athletic field. The park I was very excited about last year was Duwamish Park. In partnership with Kaboom, a national nonprofit dedicated to ending play space inequity, and Delta Airlines, the community rallied together to replace and renovate the playground and sport court. Kaboom contributed $172,000 for play structure, and Delta Airlines donated $10,000 and over 80 volunteers. An employee from as far away as Shanghai, China, came to volunteer. Sky Mileage members flew in to volunteer. This was the best effort I have seen in what I call next level customer service. And I was touched by their contribution. It made a big difference. We stood up the play equipment in one day. I wanted to say thank you to Kaboom and to Delta Airlines for these major contributions. Our Historical Society has renewed themselves. They have reestablished themselves under new leadership, dedicated to preserving, sharing, and celebrating the rich history of Tukwila. They have 2 capstone events going on right now, Stories of Arrival, where monthly speakers tell stories of how they came to live in Tukwila, and they are hosting America's 250 celebration on July 4th at Old City Hall, the Heritage Center. There'll be hot dogs and hamburgers, music, activities in the park, and a children's and pet parade. So, if you like to join us for the July 4th celebration, we'll be at Old City Hall. Looking forward to that. I don't know how many are aware of this, but April is Volunteer Appreciation Month. And I would like to say how much I appreciate the many people that work on our boards and commissions. You can see the list of boards and commissions that are here, from the Arts Commission, the Library Advisory Board, down to the Parks and Planning Commission. Volunteers are part of the glue that holds a community together, and we value their contribution greatly. There are other volunteer opportunities that you could participate in. If you're not already, you could be doing block watch parties, National Night Out Against Crime, Adopt a Spot, Adopt a Road, Green Tukwila, or recreational coaches. This is part of the fabric that makes Tukwila special. In any community, it's volunteer base. I want to close with something tonight, and then we're going to have our community choir close us out this evening. Yeah, you're going to want to hear them. And I do thank you for coming tonight and giving us of your evening. But early in life, I was introduced to the idea that I had a responsibility to heal a broken world. My entire upbringing was spent in volunteering community. I tell my staff all the time, let's create the Tukwila we want. There are a lot of good things in Tukwila, and it's why we come here, it's why we stay. Every morning when the light chases away the darkness or the rain falls from the sky, I am reminded just how good it is to live in Tukwila. Or taking a walk in one of our parks under a tree canopy, seeing the stars in the Tukwila night, I am reminded how good it is to live in Tukwila. When I see the fishermen on the Duwamish River fishing and having fun, or those walking a best friend in a dog park, I'm reminded how good it is to live here. These many experiences make life good, but you know what is very good? You. You hold the power to change the world around you. Acts of kindness, investing in your city, volunteering in community, taking time to know your neighbor, building bridges for your neighbors. You hold the power to change the world that we live in. So while Tukwila is good, it can be very good. And I invite you to be a part of that. Ways to volunteer and to contribute. Ignore them. You hold the power of change, and I want to invite you to use it as we go forward. If you really want Tukwila to be a better city, I would ask you and I would invite you, what are you doing to make it happen? Tonight, our community choir, the Voices of Tukwila Community, will be closing us out in song. They will be singing a chorus of this song in French and Belarusian, I believe it is. It's a song you all know. It's on the back of your City in Brief document, if you want to follow along. This is under the guidance of Erica Walker, our choir queen. And I want to say one of the families that is on stage here just came to Tukwila last Sunday from Algonia, and they are now embedded into the community as part of our community choir. So I want to thank you for coming. I thank you for your time. We are making Tukwila a better city, even though we think it's already pretty good, but it's getting better. And I want to now ask the Voices of Tukwila Choir to close us out this evening.
If you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you'll feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place. In the world,
make it a better place. For you and for me and the entire race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. Oh, si tu veux savoir pourquoi, il y a un amour qui ne peut mentir. L'amour est fort, il prend juste soin d'y donner la joie. Si on essaye, on verra. Dans ces bonheurs, on peut sentir. Si on sait, l'amour est juste et pour nous toujours. Créer un monde meilleur, l'amour suffit à nous retenir. Créer un monde meilleur, créer un monde meilleur. Heal the world, heal the world. Make it a better place. Yes, for you and for me and the entire mid-break. Oh yes, people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me.
we work conceived, it will reveal a joyful face. The world we once believed in will shine again in grace. And life will keep shining light when the circles of fire soul. It's plain to see this world is heavenly.
Взлететь на душе огонь гореть. Верю я, что вы все браты и сестры. Без страху створим и счастливыми слезьми миротворим ячейку оралы. Мы нас огнем это далее будем клопотиться, кажется про нас, зробить лепшим свет.
Make it a better place. For you and for me and the entire mid-race who cares. People dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. Heal the world, make it a better place. Yeah. For you and for me and the entire mid-race who place for you and for me. In the world, in a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. Oh yeah, people like you, if you care enough for my living, make a better place for you and for me. And people like you, if you care enough for my living, make a better place for you and for me. And people like you, if you care enough for my living, make a better place for you and for me. 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 People down here, if you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. Thank you for coming tonight. Drive safe going home, and please visit our partner tables out in the hallway and in the cafeteria. Thank you.